Good evening. This is Lolita with Whatever Lolita Wants, Lolita Gets. Um, Everyone has a purpose for coming into this realm, a purpose they're supposed to carry out. Okay? In the path that I grew up in Christianity, and actually in other religions too, and even outside of religion, there is such a thing called prophecy and prophesying. In the Christian church, particularly in the Pentecostal or holiness tradition, there are uh, what's called prophets, and probably in other congregations too, um, because the Bible, period, which is the book that Christians use, does mention prophets as well as other giftings or other offices, let me say, in the New Testament. Um, Even outside of religion and outside of Christianity, I do believe that there is such a thing as prophecy, calling forth, speaking forth, um, things that are to be, events that will take place uh, on the earth, the things that will take place in people's lives. There is such a thing as prophecy. In the Christian church, particularly the Pentecostal or holiness tradition, there's such a thing of like prophets coming to the church or being in the church, and they will call people out individually and give them prophecies concerning their lives. These prophets will do that with individuals, calling them up and speaking with them in kind of a hushed tone. And then some of it, depending on what's being said, they may say out loud. Um, I've seen it done both ways, as well as prophets will speak to uh, the entire congregation about maybe the direction of the church or things like that. Mark people who are concerned about prophecy over your life, people who come to you and tell you, I'm not talking about encouragement or somebody put in your path that you may not even know, that may come to you, see something on you, or just feel directed or led to say something to you that actually kind of pulls out destiny in you. I'm talking about people who know you, who will tell you things like, "Oh, you're going to do this or you're going to do that." Let me give you an example. I had a couple. We were out to dinner, and I had a couple, um, and I'm not going to mention the relationship, tell me, "Oh, you're gonna be known, and you're gonna be known, and blah blah blah, and around this area, that area, whatever." How do you know that? Why are you looking into my destiny? Even though I have giftings, I don't look into people's destinies, not unless they ask me something. It's not my business. Now, I see what I see, but as far as, "Oh, I saw her or I saw him on YouTube, or I saw her, or I saw him, I know them from work, or I know them from this place or that place. I'm curious about them. Let me use my giftings or go to this person or that person, um, and inquire on this person's destiny. Mark those people, and watch them. When I say mark, I mean watch them. Get them out of your life. And I'm not saying, there may be some who don't even understand what I'm talking about. These videos that I'm making of this nature lately are to specific people who have had certain kind of experiences. And when I mention these things, it's going to bring back memories of your particular experiences with these kind of people. Let me give you another example. I was in a church service, and there was a prophet. There was what the Christian church calls a prophet. This was back when I was in the church. Um, he was calling up different people to the front of the church so he could give them individual prophecies or words for their lives. Okay, there were two people and in the service that I knew personally. Okay, when the prophet called one of them up, I stayed seated. The prophet didn't call me up there. The prophet told him whatever they told him, went on, and he kept doing what he was doing. Then the prophet called the other person and that person's spouse up there so he could give them the word that he was being given for them. I stayed seated, not my business. Wasn't even trying to listen. When the prophet called me up there, I walked up there, and both of the individuals that I just told you I stayed seated on their prophecy came up as if the prophet called the three of us up there when he just called me. One stood to my left, one stood to my right. Didn't ask me if they could come up there. And it was so off that the prophet looked at me like, did you give them permission to come up here? And here's an example that only some of you will relate to. This has been many years ago. I said, "Oh, it's okay. It'll just save me the time from having to tell them later what you said." That wouldn't happen today, okay? But he thought it was odd because it was odd. And he proceeded to, but they stood when I was called up there like it was their business, and that I can't have anything said to me that they can't know about. Mark those people, because those people are not for you. Those are people who want to know what your purpose is in the earth, and they are 9 times out of 10 opponents to you fulfilling that. This has been Lolita with Whatever Lolita Wants, Lolita Gets. Good night.